Hi guys, today we are gonna share about why you need a good night's sleep from 6 minutes English from BBC Learning English. So yeah, let's start it.
bbclearningenglish.com. Hello, this is 6 minutes
6 minutes English from BBC Learning English. I'm Georgie and we are ready to start. Phil?
Sorry, Georgie.
I was just catching some falling wings. Getting some shut-eye, dozing, taking a nap. I was sleeping.
Sleeping at work.
Phil, how could you?
I
know. Sorry, I didn't sleep well last night.
I'll forgive you this time.
But make sure you go to bed early tonight. Because getting a good night's sleep is incredibly important.
For example,
did you know that people who get enough sleep live about 5 years longer than people who don't? Wow. So a good night's sleep can render your life.
In this program,
we are finding out more about the benefits of sleep
and as usual,
learning some useful new vocabulary as well. But first, now that you've woken up, I have a question for you.
Do you
know how much of the average person's life is spent asleep? Is it A, a half, B, a quarter, or C, a third? I think we spend about a third of our life sleeping.
Well, I'll reveal the
correct answer at the end of the program. The questions of why humans sleep is not easy to answer.
In terms
of evolution, why would it make sense to go unconscious every night, leaving ourselves vulnerable to danger? It can only mean that the benefits gained from sleep are huge.
Here,
science journalist Jenny Smith explains some of these benefits to BBC Radio 4 program Inside Science.
So we've probably all
experienced that we had bad night's sleep and then you try and do some work and just you can't concentrate. Your brain isn't in the right state to take in new information. But you also need to sleep after we've learned new things, because that's when our brain consolidates the information, takes from short-term storage to long-term storage.
Fixes in with other things we
already know. That old adage of you got a problem, sleep on it. Your brain doesn't actually work on things during the night. You can often wake up and have
the problem in your.
You can often wake up and have solved the problems in your sleep. When we sleep, our brains refresh, leaving us feeling rested in the morning. After a bad night's sleep, it's more difficult to concentrate. We can't take in or understand new information.
We also have
the saying, if you got a problem,
sleep on it.
To sleep on it means to delay making a decision. Means to delay making a decision until you have had time to think about it.
That also turns out to be true.
But that also turns out to be true. Scientifically speaking, during sleep, your brain really can work out problems and find solutions. But what about the other side of the story? What happens when you get too little sleep? Little sleep or none at all?
Here's Jenny Smith
again. Talking to BBC Radio 4 program Inside Science.
Sleep deprivation is a form of stress,
and we know that when you are stressed,
sort of fight or flight Deprivation is a form of stress, and we
And we know
know
that when you are stressed, your sort of
fight or flight
response. Fight or flight response is activated, and thus causes all these changes in your body that focus on immediate survival over long-time health. But if we are chronically stressed, money worries or stressful job or something that's going on forever, or life in general, chronic sleep deprivations that's causing that level of stress. Then you might constantly have a damped down immune system, which can then lead to all these knock-on problems. Having none or too little of something important is known as deprivation. Sleep deprivation is stressful for the body, so stressful that it activates a fight or flight response. Changes in a human body in response to a life-threatening situation, which make us either to stay and fight the threat or run away from it.
As well as
fight or flight response, the stress of not getting enough sleep over a long period also creates problems including heart disease and a weakened immune system.
Lack of sleep has
these knock-on effects. It causes other things to happen, but not directly. Now do you see why it's so important to get a good night's sleep, Phil? Plus, it will stop you sleeping at work again.
Right.
I think it's time to review the answer to my question.
Yes.
You asked me how much of the average person's life is spent asleep, and I said it was about a third, which was the correct answer. Assuming you sleep 8 hours a day, the average person will sleep for 229,961 hours in their lifetime, or around 1/3 of their life. Okay, let's recap the vocabulary we have learned. Starting with the phrases with catch 40 winks, get some shots outdoors and take a nap, all of which means to sleep. When someone takes in information, they understand it. If you have a problem and you sleep on it, you delay making decisions until you have had time to think about it. Deprivation is an absence or too little of something important, such as food or sleep. The fight or flight response describes changes in the human body in response to dangerous situation, which make us either stay or fight the threat or run away from it. And finally, if something has a knock-on effect, it causes the other results indirectly.
Once again, our 6 minutes are up, but one effect. It causes
the other results indirectly.
Once again,
our 6 minutes are up. But remember to join us again next time for more training topics and useful vocabulary. Here is 6 minutes BBC.
Bye.
Goodbye for now. Bye.
6 minutes English from